Welcome to this graduation ceremony. But first, perhaps I should introduce myself. My name is Thandabantu Nhlapo, one of the Deputy Vice Chancellors at the University of Cape Town, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this ceremony this afternoon. One of the things that we have learned or discovered as UCT over the years is that there is some benefit to someone from the executive coming to have a chat with you before the ceremony actually starts to talk about something other than photography. And that is what I'm doing now. We've got about 3 minutes to have this chat. There are good reasons for it. One of the good reasons is that it sometimes helps to explain a little bit about the ceremony, what is going to be happening, how we react to it. For me, I always find that it's important to assure you that we understand the balance between solemnity and joy. And this is a serious occasion, but it's not a solemn occasion. It's not a church service. So you are actually allowed to ululate, stand up and shout, "That's my baby," as your son or daughter or wife or husband or sister or brother graduates. And, well, it's no longer as relevant now as it was in the past, except that it may be revived again by the happenings in Brazil 4 years after I had to give this warning in the past. But we do draw the line at the vuvuzela, though. But we accept that you can stand up and say, "Mkhize, khabazela kamavovo," or anything you want to say. So as long as you do it from your seat. So it's joyful and feel free to express yourself. The other point that it's proved useful to explain in the past is the stuff, the robes and the funny hats. And the reason it's useful to reflect on it a little bit is simply because June is fine, the weather is as it is. December, the questions are really quite intense. Why do you have to swelter in this thing? But the truth of the matter is that we believe it is still one of those links to the universal community, the universal family that we call universities, that shows that whatever local flavor we may add to it, we are still linked to this universal family. And we think it's nice to dress up occasionally, and that it does send this message about the link between this great effort or this great enterprise of education. Finally, I have to remind us that there are different types of ceremonies, or at least the ceremony can be configured in different ways. The one we have this afternoon is one of the more simple ones. Sometimes there are honorary degree awards, sometimes there are book awards, distinguished teachers awards, sometimes there's a speaker, other times there isn't a speaker. This one is fairly straightforward. We do have an honorary award, I think that's the difference. Otherwise, it's a straightforward ceremony, which should be quite short. I am asked to read the following. You will understand why it takes reading. I am 64 this year, and some of the stuff I'm going to read, I do not understand, but I have to read it. For those of you following graduation electronically. Please follow the UCT Twitter handle at UCT_news, hashtag UCT Grad 2014 for all graduation news and updates. Excuse me. UCT will be giving away a 20 Years of Freedom hoodie to the best graduation picture posted using the UCT Twitter handle and graduation hashtag. This is a steep education for me. Graduation is also being live streamed from uct.ac.za, and all graduation ceremonies will be available on our UCT YouTube channel. Finally, the procession will soon enter. I am required, just to make sure that you relax properly, to ask you to stand up for a leg stretch or anything you want to do before if you wish, it's not compulsory, before the ceremony starts. So if we can do that, it's not exactly a smoking break, it's just to sort of stretch. If you feel you don't need that, then we shall let the procession in and the ceremony will begin. Again, welcome.
authority vested on me, I constitute this Assembly a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
Please remain standing. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to invite Ms. Carrie McIntosh, the Health, Safety and Environment Coordinator for the Students' Representative Council, to read the University Declaration.
At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility, and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our founders, benefactors, and predecessors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To those of you who graduate today, we wish you courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those of you who leave the university to work elsewhere and learn, may you be sustained by those values that unite us here and advance them in the world beyond. A love of truth and of learning and of our university.
Please be seated. Don't go. Don't go. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, these are from the South African College of Music here at UCT, and we are very proud of that college and the products from the college. Please give them another round of applause. Let me tell you then who has been performing for you. Of course, the processional anthem Gaudeamus and the national anthem were performed by our students from the South African College of Music and accompanied on the organ by Eben Wachenstrom. This last musical item, La Donna Immobile from Rigoletto by Giuseppe Verdi, was performed by soloists Levi Sekgapane, Makudupanyane Snawana, and Olani Madalane, tenors, with Francois Botha on piano. Thank you. We have already said our welcomes, so it is my pleasure to invite the university orator to address us. Thanks.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, Bernard Louis Fanaroff. The Northern Cape is the largest and most sparsely populated province in South Africa. Besides some sheep farming, not much goes on. The arid desert stretches on and on. In the distance, a flat-topped butte. Every few years, a rainstorm. And then suddenly, in May 2012, the tiny dorp of Carnarvon became the coolest spot in the cosmos. After more than a decade of work by the South African Square Kilometre Array team, Carnarvon got to be the site of the world's biggest ever science project. Bernie Fanaroff had made the big, big skies and the dryness and the emptiness and the nothingness worth something. If you want to look into the cosmos, there are only three things you can do from the ground: optical, gamma ray, and radio wave astronomy. We already had optical and gamma ray telescopes, so the only missing element was radio. Astronomers had done a back-of-the-envelope calculation and worked out that in order to be sufficiently sensitive, the collecting area of the telescope would have to be a square kilometre, hence the SKA, Square Kilometre Array. When the idea for the South African SKA bid was first conceived, the Department of Science and Technology needed somebody to direct the project, somebody who was trusted, who had credibility and was respected by government, and somebody who could hold his own with scientists. And of course, that person was Bernie Fanaroff. Bernie Fanaroff is far more than the SKA, as big as that is. He has spent many years honing his skills and developing his talents. His shrewd negotiating and strategizing skills were honed in the South African trade union movement in the 1970s, where he worked full-time for MAWU and then NUMSA. He devoted 18 years to this work and was totally consumed by it. He lived in a simple flat in Hillbrow, in an almost derelict building, working, working, working. Many people thought that he was a lawyer, with his ability to cut a deal and his sophisticated strategizing. His patience and stubbornness were honed in government, where he was Deputy Director General in the Office of the President, head of the RDP office, and advisor to the Minister of Safety and Security. So, as the director of the SKA project, his job description was somebody who could convince farmers to have thousands of dishes all over their farms, the Northern Cape Premier that it was okay to have no cell phone signal in the province for 50 years, and the Minister of Finance that he wouldn't be responsible for funding it. And of course, somebody who could convince South Africans that we could do something that looked absolutely impossible, host the world's biggest ever science project. It was only occasionally, in passing, that Bernie van der Hoff might mention something about the stars. And then it would emerge that not only did he have a PhD from the Cavendish in Cambridge, but that the Van der Hoff-Riley radio source classification is named after him. And not only that, but that his paper about that classification, The Morphology of Extragalactic Radio Sources, which was published 40 years ago, has 2,103 citations and is still being cited today. Back in Carnarvon, on the vast beige plateau, the real tribute to Bernie van der Hoff is the soundless sight that will eventually be the focus of the SKA, listening, listening, listening to the stars. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present, for the award of the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, Bernard Louis van der Hoff.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my special privilege and honor now to invite Dr. Bernard van der Hoff to address the congregation.
Vice-Chancellor, friends and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be here and to receive this degree. It's a day for celebration for all of us, for those of you who are receiving your degrees today. It's a day that you receive recognition for the skills and knowledge which will make you the key people in the future of our country and our continent. But it's also the day 28 years ago on which the last national state of emergency was declared by the apartheid government. And that led to thousands of people being detained for many months, mostly from the unions and civic organizations, and unprecedented repression of the media. I think it's useful to sometimes remind ourselves where we've come from to give perspective to where we are now and where we want to go. For some of us, 1986 is not so long ago. I'm very grateful to UCT for this honorary degree, but I must say you're giving it to the wrong person. It should really go to the outstanding team of people who have worked together to bring the Square Kilometre Array telescope to Africa, to build the Meerkat telescope, and to build up our excellent human capital program. But I'm honoured to accept the degree on their behalf, and I thank you for that. All of you who are graduating today deserve our very sincere congratulations. You have worked hard and we applaud you and we wish you well for the future. We live in a country which has its problems, but problems create opportunities. It is the well-educated, skilled young people like you who can seize these opportunities. My PhD supervisor, said some years ago that the wonderful thing about young people is that they don't know which problems are impossible to solve, so they just go out and solve them. That is what we want and what we need in South Africa. Remember, too, that Africa is increasingly being recognized as the continent of the future, with immense potential for economic development. It can be the next great business destination. And not just for the extraction of minerals and raw materials. The need for skills and know-how and infrastructure to develop this potential is immense, and it creates huge opportunities for enterprising young people like yourselves. Unfortunately, there are far too few young people like you who have the skills and education required. You're among the far too few people in our country who have high-level technical and scientific skills and the understanding of how to use them to solve problems. These are all essential if we are to become a winning nation. Our failure to provide a good education to everyone in this country is our most important failure 20 years after 1994. To become a successful nation in which everyone has a good standard of living, we must solve the problem of our education system. Everyone must have an education which enables them to achieve their potential. I don't believe that there are shortcuts to being a successful nation. A good educational system is a prerequisite. We cannot rectify the basic education system at the expense of our tertiary education system, however. We must not see the urgent need for resources for the schools to mean that we should not also put more resources into our universities and technical colleges. Solving difficult problems like those we face in South Africa requires innovation, whether it be in the public service, in service delivery, or in the economy. Research is essential to develop the capacity for innovation. We must not see basic education and spending on tertiary education and basic research as being in contradiction to each other. They are equally essential if we are to succeed as a nation. We cannot rely forever on our raw materials and natural resources. Like other nations, we have to be able to compete in the global economy where there is more and more emphasis on technology and knowledge products. Our Science and Technology Minister, Naledi Pandor, said recently, we have to get science into the center of our thinking. Innovation is at the heart of society, and we have to persuade the nation that development without science is not development. We must also drive hard for excellence in everything we do. That applies in particular to research and teaching at the universities. Excellence is not something we should be shy about. It is essential for success as an individual or as a nation. I've been very lucky to work on exciting and challenging problems with wonderful and excellent people for most of my life. At the Cavendish Laboratory, I was privileged to work on the 1 mile and 5 kilometre radio telescopes when they were very new, and we could make quite fundamental discoveries about the nature of radio galaxies and quasars. And as one of my colleagues at the time said, you make your mark and then you got out before people found out what you really were like. When I came back to Johannesburg in 1974, I was able to join up with the people who were building a new trade union movement. I worked as a trade union organizer from 1976 to 1994. During that time, we were able to achieve what many thought impossible, to build a strong, democratic, worker-controlled union movement which was able to grow despite harsh opposition from employers and the apartheid state. Some of you may think now that that wasn't such a good thing, but you need to remember the appalling conditions in which black workers were working and the fact that black workers were prohibited from working in skilled and semi-skilled jobs. Remember also that the labour movement played a crucial role in getting rid of apartheid, which is something that has been largely forgotten. One of the fun things we did along the way was to oppose the introduction of VAT by the apartheid government. We didn't win everything we wanted in that campaign, but that is the reason why we don't pay VAT on fresh food and medicines and other things today. In 1994, the Reconstruction and Development Program was adopted as a program of the new government and of the country. I was honoured to work in President Mandela's Office of the President under the RDP Minister J. Naidu. We had a dynamic team of people who were very committed to using the opportunity to rebuild our country after centuries of racial discrimination and oppression. This was not an easy challenge, but it was a real and viable opportunity to change things. We improvised a lot as we went along, but there was support from every part of the nation, business, all the political parties, and the people as a whole. The RDP office was closed in 1996, and the RDP was replaced by the policy called GEAR. The key aspects of the RDP have, however, been reinvented in the emphasis we see today on infrastructure investment and in various other aspects of the National Development Plan. These were all opportunities which presented themselves because of the problems we faced as a nation. There are still plenty of problems and plenty of opportunities for you to take on, and there always will be. Some are very big problems, others are smaller, but they all present opportunities, whether in business, in technology, in research, in service delivery, in government, or wherever you choose to go. Remember always that the success of the nation depends on all of us. We've made a lot of progress. We have a long way to go. The opportunity I want to talk about now is the Square Kilometre Array. I was approached at the end of 2002 by the then Director General of the Department of Science and Technology, Rob Adam, and the President of the National Research Foundation, Kotso Mokheli, to manage South Africa's bid to host the telescope. It was to be the world's largest science instrument. In 2004, it was decided that we wouldn't just offer a piece of land, we would also build our own precursor to the Square Kilometre Array, which we called the Meerkat telescope, in the Karoo on the site we were proposing for the SKA. We wanted to show the world that you can build the world's most technically advanced and exciting science instruments in Africa, which was something that many people inside and outside South Africa didn't believe at the time. The Meerkat was also intended to be the focus for our very big program to develop a vibrant and productive community of radio astronomers and engineers working at the cutting edge of science and technology. Because we hadn't built such a thing before, we thought we'd get the answers to many of our problems from our international collaborators. But we went out, learnt everything that everyone else knew, and then started asking other questions, and we found that we were leapfrogging the rest of the world in many areas, solving the problems ourselves. There was a very careful and exacting site selection process. It lasted 10 years. An independent international committee recommended that the SKA be built in Africa. The 11 countries who are members of the International SKA organization decided that we would build 2,500 telescope dishes, which are 15 meters in diameter. They're a bit like a 3-story building. Will be built in the Karoo and in 8 African partner countries. And there'll be another low-frequency array built in Western Australia. We were successful in our proposal because we had a good site, but also because we assembled a small but really outstanding team, mainly of young South Africans who worked exceptionally hard for 10 years, and we were obsessional about doing everything to a high standard of excellence. South Africa was identified as a preferred location based on the scientific and technical excellence of the bid. Building the world's largest science instrument in Africa, the largest telescope ever built, is a big breakthrough for us. I think it's very exciting. It's more important than hosting the Soccer World Cup. The returns are medium to long term, but if we take the opportunities, they can have a very far-reaching effect on our future development. The SKA can change the way we see ourselves and the way the world sees us, as a place where you can do the world's best science and where you can develop and build cutting-edge, world-class technology. It's already reversed the brain drain in astronomy. The SKA South Africa project has attracted many of the brightest young South Africans into astronomy and engineering, and it's attracted an increasing number of excellent senior and junior researchers from other countries, many of whom are sitting with us on the stage today. Since 2005, we've awarded more than 590 bursaries and grants funded by the Department of Science and Technology for young people to study for a PhD, a master's degree or undergraduate degree in physics or engineering, to study as postdocs or as technicians or artisans. We built a pipeline of young people who go from school all the way through to postdocs. And this has built a critical mass of really excellent young researchers in astronomy and technology. Many of our students have come from other African countries, and they've started to teach astronomy in their own home countries. Astronomy has always pushed the boundaries of technology, and the SKA certainly does that. It will produce more data faster than has ever been done before. The SKA will generate about 50 times as much data as the entire World Wide Web. It requires what is called exascale computing, which is about 1,000 times as fast as the current fastest computers we have. It will require very fast data transport and huge data storage. And all of that must be done using as little energy as possible. We call this subject green computing for obvious reasons. Our SKA South Africa team, with international collaborators all over the world, including some of the biggest companies in the world like IBM, Intel and Cisco, have played and continue to play a leading role in developing the science and technology for the SKA. The universities, including UCT, play a critical role in this development work and are producing excellent research and excellent young people. We're now working on spinning off some of the technology and our expertise into commercial development. One area which I believe to be of great importance is called big data. The Meerkat telescope and the SKA will generate huge amounts of data very fast. There are immense challenges in transporting the data, processing it, analyzing it, and visualizing it, all with minimal power usage. As such, it is a very important entry point into the general subject of big data. Big data is an entirely new industry, and I believe it will be one of the most important and fastest growing global industries of the next decade. It looks at how to use the immense data flows which come from billions of cell phones, point-of-sale devices, traffic sensors, medical sensors, weather sensors, and so on. And it's used to make smart cities, smart electricity grids, smart health services, smarter retail, and many other things. The company Cisco recently estimated that this industry will be worth trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars in revenue within a few years. There's no reason why South Africa should not be a leading player in this new industry and in the global knowledge economy. We have excellent universities, we have excellent researchers, and we have outstanding young people like yourselves. We have a government which is committed to building a knowledge-based economy and is investing in it. The question I've been asking lots of people over the past few years is, what does South Africa have to do now to become a world leader in big data by 2020? We're not unique as a country in identifying big data as a key growth area, but we are also not unique in that there's a global lack of skills and capacity in big data. So when you take all of that together, there's actually no reason why South Africa cannot be a world leader in this new industry worth trillions of dollars. So this is an example of what I was talking about earlier. It's an opportunity to contribute to make South Africa a winning nation. It's not the answer to poverty, but it can be an important contributor. We are already doing pilot projects with various universities and with industry, and in particular we're doing a very exciting pilot project with UCT on a processing platform for the health sector. UCT has now taken up the challenge and is building its own program on big data, for which I congratulate you. For me, the most important implication of the SKA project is a sense of achievement of South Africans. The Meerkat telescope is more than just a precursor. It will be one of the world's premier science facilities on its own. It's designed and built by South Africans, but it's wanted by the rest of the world. Many South Africans, like Elon Musk and others, have become global leaders and innovators in the USA or the UK. You don't have to go overseas to be global leaders. You can do it here. Most important, if you want to develop big projects like this, you have to build a team of the best people you can find and get them to buy into a vision. When people buy into a vision and understand it, you'll be surprised at how dedicated and committed they will be. Most important, you have to continually deliver things which people can see and touch. That's how you maintain and build support and keep up your team's dedication. That's what we've done with the SK and the Meerkat project. And then never give up. Don't let people tell you that what you're trying to do is impossible. If you believe it can be done, willpower can achieve an unbelievable amount. Tenacity can overcome what often seems like impossible odds. So one of the things I want you to do is to use the square kilometre array to win Nobel Prizes for Africa. You can do it. It requires a bit of tenacity and application, but there's no reason why we shouldn't. We want Nobel Prizes won by African scientists in Africa. Please go out and do it. I want to thank the university for this degree. I want to thank my wife Wendy for having made it all possible for me. And thank you all. And congratulations again.
Thank you, Dr. Vanderhoff, for that inspiring talk. Inspiring not only because of the role model and the example that you've set, but the example you set, the challenge you set for us as a country, for the future scientists, but also the reminder of the multiple skills that you need as a leader in science. They go way beyond the brain power to have new ideas. They go to persistence, to the willingness to think big and have long-term vision, to the charisma to persuade people, to support your vision, to find funding, to coordinate a team, the little touches that you mentioned, the ability to motivate and mobilize people, to give the public something to see and touch so that they have a sense of progress. Those are the kinds of multiple skills one doesn't even think of when you embark on a career in science or academia, and your talk highlights for us the many facets of such a career. Thank you very much for your talk. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I will now admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas specified to the candidates who are recorded in the program as being in absentia. I shall now grant the diplomas and admit to the degrees specified the candidates who will be presented to me by the deans.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science, James Andrew Combrink. Abel Francisco Maquito Diogo. Sepetu Kolo James. Vinolia Simangela Mashlangu. Muhammad Motala. Seema Nawaz Premji. Tumelo Faith Rasekoala. In Chemical, Molecular and Cellular Sciences, Candice Louise Kopowitz. In Mathematical, Physical and Statistical Sciences, Lionel Musa Nhlanhla Dlamini.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Architectural Studies, Hannah Jo Wessels. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Construction Studies, Jean-Marie Yannick Delair. Kia Tlaretse Mpo Utricia Mainole. Zukile Zomyalu. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Landani Butalesi. With honors, Takunda Yukai Chitaka. Kakhetlu Matuto Patience Luheto. Sebusisu Bernard Masani. With honors, Veronica Muyongani. Motsamonyani Jacob Pasha. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering in Civil Engineering, Alexander Davison. Matabu Habu Sharon Masachela. Akona Nasinka. With honors, Alexander Konstantin Veliok. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering in Electrical Engineering, Tasneem Abrams. John Bongane Nhlapo. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Sunnyboy Ofense Mabe. Matthew Derek Pennell. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering in Mechatronics, Guy Mark Coulson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Property Studies, Muhammad Bilal Chand. Mangaliso Maki Gubansa. Michelle Kate Steele.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours in Molecular and Cell Biology, Denford Nyasha Banga.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours in Quantity Surveying, Mshloti Igranath Chalky. Tinashe Clever Mupangwa. Spwamantla Sanele Zuma. For the degree of Master of Architecture, Professional, Melanie van Benningen. For the degree of Master of City and Regional Planning, Yolanda Hall. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Radar and Electronic Defense, Adil Valley Asop. For the degree of Master of Landscape Architecture, Chantal Vanessa Dyrem. Master of Science in Property Studies, Andrea de Ries Abrams. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Conservation of the Built Environment, Janine de Waal. Lodine Philip. Raymond Smith. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Engineering Education, Stuart Leyland Torr. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Engineering Management, Berenice Jean Munion. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Energy Development Studies, Lana Manette Franks. Catherine Ann Lowe. Marek Rasiborski. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Transport Studies, Danette Jones. Hasvanai Sitsi Tamuka Moyo. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Urban Infrastructure, Design and Management, Carla Boyson. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering, in Chemical Engineering, Shandon Besaidenout. Nicole Karen Janssen van Rensburg. Mupeli Ismail Kama. Kubefu Albert Maduna. Nicole Ann Meyer. Muhammad Tabit Nasiruddin. Konrad Bekile Ndimande. Tisundukani Glenn Nawila. Constance Kudakwase Niabu. Tanaka Cassandra Shumba. With distinction in the dissertation and the degree with distinction, Nathan Nangwelela Sumunika. Jacobus van der Merwe. Brian Matthew Willis. Yi Zhou. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering, in Civil Engineering, Daniel John Avutia. Coco Davis Ruben Azagananji. Muhammad Asad Esak. Zahir Mukadam. Lombe Mutale. Elton Reuters. Marco Giovanni Talotti. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering, in Electrical Engineering, Hilary Kudzai Chisepo. Mpendulo Dlamini. Philip John Lown Frost. Shauna Tina John. Akrama Khan. Naleli Jubair Machelo. Molise Mokomu. Ronnie Mugisa. Emmanuel Namanya. Darcy Heinrich Christian Ocker. Jaco Pretorius. Ndabeni Moses Stenane. With distinction in the dissertation, Ulubengwa Adekunle Taiwo. Juanet van der Merwe. Ze Sangju. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering in Energy Studies, Nalini Pillai. Paxis Marcus Jawaruk. Sitwell Luvu Vanyasa. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering in Geomatics, Tabu Meshak Nesoko. Lindy Ann Siebrits. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering in Materials Engineering, Luke Marcus Finkelstein. Tabohu Jacob Molakwane. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Priyes Gusai. Heathcliff John Hartle. Yusuf Muhammad Patel. Graham Raymond Paul. Nzudzanyo Ranwaha. Leanne Colleen Robertson. Druin Starlet Saunders. With distinction in the dissertation, Melchior Jacobus Stander. Andrew Miles Winstonley. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering in Sustainable Energy Engineering, Nicholas Craig Bailey. For the degree of Master of Science in Project Management, Brandon Lee Cluter. Kiran Mai Jonah Lagada. Nentutse Mofoka. For the degree of Master of Science in Property Studies, Samuel Mukori.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Master of Philosophy in Climate Change and Development, Sarah Rexon. Brian Jeffrey Schmidt. In Environment, Society and Sustainability, Fiona Bonnie Galloway. Yogini Bharat Jivanji. With distinction, Joanna Regina Katharina von Holt. In Information Technology, Nicola Dutoy. For the degree of Master of Science in Applied Marine Science, Blessing Kamwe Kamwe. In Applied Marine Science, Zoology, Sifiso Walter Mbambo. In Astrophysics and Space Science, Priscilla Chauke. Sulona Kandai. Swido Felangani, Indomolelo Kangale. Rajiv Manik. Itumaleng Matuba Monageng. Elizabeth Naluminsa. Riona Ramraj. In botany, with distinction, Catherine Mary Bunny. With distinction, Sherry Janine Forbes. In chemistry, with distinction, Sabina Sheikh Yusuf. In climate change and development, Akil Rafiq Hayat. Anna Catherine James. Shakiruddin Abimbola Lawal. Sibongile Mutoni Lenae. Beth McKay. Elizabeth Jane McDade. Christopher Roger Milson. Greta Semanaskite. In computer science, with distinction, Duncan Matthew Clow. Rolf Weimar. Daniel Kyle Wood. In conservation biology, Wesley Drummond Bell. Philip Peter Massey. With distinction, Robin Milne. Frances Laurel Morling. Phineas Sadondo. Tabitha Moana Constance Stokes. In environmental and geographical science, Sabina Abba Omar. With distinction, Julio Anderson Arujo. Eva Liliane Ujaneza. Elizabeth Weeks Ward. In geology, Ponani Mtembi. In information technology, with distinction, Michael Leith Workman. In molecular and cell biology, Lyle Michael Curry. Halford John Wheatland Dace. Karusha Munsami. In ocean and climate dynamics, Ahmed Femi Dulmahamad. Danija Warren. Bernardino João Nantumbo. Mteto Vuyo Sovara. In physical oceanography, Kynwin Margaret Lana Smith. In theoretical physics, Mawanda Baboyele Lushoze. Jason Alexander Myers. In zoology, Kieran James Dunn. Adrian Michael Hewitt. Megan Lofty Eaton.
Vice-Chancellor, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering, for a thesis which focuses on elucidating the role of reduction promoters in iron-based Fischer-Tropsch catalysts, an important process for the conversion of biomass/coal into liquid fuels using ferrites as model compounds. Zandile Rislengiwe Chonko. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering, for a thesis which develops empirical models that cannot only be used to predict the rate of corrosion of reinforcing steel in concrete structures in coastal environments, but also to select suitable combination of design parameters. Mike Benjamin Otieno. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, for a thesis that develops a time-based, probabilistic approach to assessing the cost of interruptions to electricity customers and provides methods for customer segmentation that makes the approach practical for network planning and operations. Oliver Nzobu. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, for a thesis which applies time-dependent probabilistic methods to electricity network failure analysis and thereby improves the perception of the uncertainty inherent in power system reliability planning, operations, and statutory regulation. Milton Adimu. for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering for a thesis which develops distributed Internet Protocol mobility management schemes for enhancing network performance in the future mobile Internet, Petro Pesha Ernest. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering for a thesis which lays a foundation of reliability analysis in automated pattern recognition of transmission line faults and demonstrates that transmission line faults can be automatically and reasonably accurately classified during power systems operations according to underlying cause. Ulrich John Menaar. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering for the thesis which focuses on real-time transient stability assessment of a power system comprising of hybrid renewable energy sources using generalized regression, multi-layer, and recurrent neural networks. Paul Keinda Ululope.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Archaeology for a thesis which develops a baseline understanding of dental variation in archaeological indigenous Khoisan peoples, demonstrate the antiquity and uniqueness of this phenotype, and provides evidence for genetic continuity through space and time, including links to early modern humans. Wendy Black. For a thesis which develops a new chronological framework for sand rock paintings in the Cederberg region of the Western Cape, primarily based on the detailed recording of superposition events. Siyaka Mbuni. In applied mathematics, for a thesis which analyzes relativistic aspects of structure growth in the universe and its consequences for our interpretation of dark energy. Sean Philip February. For a thesis which develops a simple, scientifically defensible generic approach for the effective and sustainable management of data-poor fish resources. Helena Francine Geremont. In astronomy, for a thesis which studies the dynamics and thermal properties of the interstellar medium of nearby, well-resolved galaxies using a two-component Gaussian description of the keystone fuel, atomic hydrogen. Roger Ian Yamasimanana. for a thesis which studies the environmental dependence of the star formation properties of galaxies in the Abel 1437 cluster and its surrounding large-scale structure, Johannes Paulus Kotze. In botany, for a thesis which develops an artificial diet and feeding regime incorporating the green seaweed ulva to optimize consumption rates, digestibility, growth, and product quality of the sea urchin Trypneustes gratilla in aquaculture systems for the international seafood market. Mark Digby Cyrus. For a thesis exploring the role of diurnal and nocturnal transpiration for plant nutrient acquisition and how nutrition regulates water fluxes, revealing a functional link between water and nutrient fluxes that has several important implications in plant physiology, ecology, and agriculture. Ignatius Mati. In chemistry, for a thesis which investigates the mechanisms of hemozoan malaria pigment formation, revealing a crucial role for lipid molecules in the formation of these pigment crystals, and makes an important contribution for the future design of anti-malarials. Melvin Anyasi Ambele. For a thesis which develops a computational method that makes it possible to treat the boundary between quantum and classical models of a molecule in multiscalar computer simulations of complex enzymatic reactions, Werner Krauss. For a thesis which investigates the design, synthesis, and in vitro anti-tumor activity of multinuclear metallodendrimers and contributes to the advancement of knowledge in the field of bioorganometallic chemistry. Prasendran Govender. For a thesis which uses experimental and computational methods to investigate the interaction of the antimalarial chloroquine with its molecular target, Ferriheim, and which proposes a new model for the chloroquine-Ferriheim complex, David Kuter. For a thesis which investigates the biological activity of a new polyamine-based drug candidates for the treatment of malaria by exploring various structure-activity relationships which contribute towards the understanding of the structural features that might overcome resistance experienced by current anti-malarial drugs. Tamarin Stringer. For a thesis which describes an interdisciplinary investigation of the medicinal plants of Paul's Hook, Namaqualand, by combining ethnographic and ethnobotanical insights with the use of advanced analytical techniques for metabolomics profiling of plant extracts. Nicola Mary Wheat. In environmental and geographical science, for a thesis which maps the longitudinal profiles of rivers forming the Congo-Kalahari watershed using both geographic information system and satellite imagery, Tyrrell James Flugel. For a thesis which uses fossil diatoms preserved in lake sediments from 2 lakes near Wilderness and Princess Flay on the Cape Flats to explore the dynamics of climate, hydrology and catchment conditions over the late Holocene environment. Kelly Louise Kirsten Sardina. For a thesis which captures the contours of bioregionalism in Mapungubwe in order to test the claims that transfrontier conservation areas enhance biodiversity management, promote economic development, and improve the livelihoods of local communities. Indidzulafi Innocent Sintumule. For a thesis which determines the chemical and physical nature of Makhadi-Khadi surface crust and saline sediments and their role in Southern African dust production, Catherine Jessica Vickery. In geology, for a thesis on the geological evolution of the coastal region offshore Mossel Bay that provides new insights in how variations in sea level altered the landscape and influenced the evolution of early humans. Hayley Candice Carthra. For a thesis which focuses on the underlying geological causes of continental erosion and landscape evolution, with particular focus on the Tanzanian rift valleys and associated high-altitude plateaus. Charles Kazanzu. In molecular and cell biology, for a thesis which focuses on characterizing the genetic basis of antibiotic resistance in the opportunistic pathogen Bacteroides fragilis, with particular emphasis on resistance to drug metronidazole. Rosemary Lauren Megazy. For a thesis which presents the first investigation of the population structure of the southern harvester termite, Microhodotermes viata, by assessing the genetic state and behavioral interactions within and between 12 colonies from 4 areas across the Western Cape. Natasha Muna. In physical oceanography, for a thesis examining the mechanisms of variability in the Cape Point concentrations of bromoform, a climatically important trace gas. These groundbreaking measurements and the associated interpretations form the beginning of a long-term time series research initiative. Brett Kuiper. for a thesis which investigates the variability of the tropical Western Indian Ocean and the role of local processes versus remote forcing by ENSO and the Indian Ocean Dipole. Majuto Clement Manyilizu. For a thesis which uses satellite remotely sensed optical information, as well as field-based in situ optical measurements and bio-optical numerical modeling to help monitor water quality in South Africa's 50 largest lakes and reservoirs. Mark William Matthews. In physics, for thesis which provides the currently most accurate values of the masses of the light and heavy quarks and also deals with other fundamental issues such as the value of the electric charge of the electron impacting on the mass of the Higgs particle. Sebastian Bodenstein. For a thesis which focuses on the study of the fractal properties of silicon nanoparticle aggregates in relation to the electrical conduction of the printed nanoparticle networks with application for sensors and electronic devices, Emmanuel Oiku Jonah. In tertiary physics education, for a thesis describing the strategies adopted by physics students when engaging with laboratory tasks which may be used to design inquiry-based tasks that promote model building skills in physics, John Edward Ferron. In zoology, for a thesis which investigates the behavioral and spatial ecology of white sharks in False Bay, South Africa, and through these data proposes both short and long-term management strategies for the improved conservation of this apex predator, Alison Ann Koch. For a thesis which focuses on classifying game birds, francolins and spurfowls in particular, and investigates their evolutionary relationships as well as their distribution patterns and processes that shape them, Chifiwa Gift Mandawani Noidani. For a thesis which presents the first empirical conservation data on the protected lion population in Zambia's Kaifu National Park and identifies management priorities for the species in this key lion stronghold, Neil Midlane. For a thesis which presents a template for incorporating thermal guidelines for aquatic insects into environmental flow assessments, providing one of the first approaches to modeling the effects of climate change on aquatic insects in South African rivers, Veer Ross Gillespie.
Congratulations to all of our graduates and to our new doctors. We're very proud of you. We're proud of what you achieved. and I know that your families in the audience are hugely proud of you as well. You join a community that has graduated from UCT before you, a community of alumni that now is some 140,000 large and spread all over the world, and I hope that you will be proud of that community and make us proud of you. When you go out into the world, you represent the University of Cape Town, and people will judge us by the reputations that you build for yourselves. They will say that person has a UCT degree and will judge us accordingly. And when they do that, it's our view that they will judge you and us not primarily on the basis of your technical competence. That's of course important, but knowledge changes, and in a few years' time, much of the knowledge that you've acquired, the discoveries, will be out of date, will be replaced by new knowledge, and you will be part of that frontier of new knowledge. They'll judge you more than anything else by the way you live your lives and the values you live. And we hope that what you take away with you from UCT is not just the degree and the knowledge, but an ethos, a value system, a commitment to social justice, a commitment to reducing inequity in the world, a commitment to making an impact and making a difference. You have the tools to do that. You are equipped, and as our honorary graduate this afternoon said in his lecture, you have a contribution to make to yourselves, to knowledge globally, to the country, to development. You are an incredibly privileged and elite group as a result of your being here today, and we hope that you will use it well. Congratulations. When you think about your lives and how you've got to this point, I've no doubt that you would want to show your appreciation to your loved ones in the audience who have supported you financially, who have supported you emotionally and psychologically, and who have sometimes put up with you while you make your way through this arduous process. So I invite you to take your scroll, stand up, make eye contact with your loved ones in the audience, and wave your scrolls at them and shout your appreciation to them. And I believe that you would not have achieved what you have today without the teaching and leadership and support of those represented by the faculty on the platform, your lecturers and professors who have been role models, been teachers, and shared their knowledge and experience with you. And I invite you to thank them too. Show them your appreciation. And I too thank the faculty members on the stage and the faculty of the university, because the university is only as good as its brain power, and it is our faculty that make us one of the leading universities in the world. It takes more than academics. I also want to extend our appreciation and your appreciation to the many other people in the university who make it work. The Registrar's Office, who look after admissions and graduations and exams and student administration, the people who keep us safe, the security people, the people who clean the university, the people who ensure that the administration works smoothly. So one final round of applause for the university staff. So it just remains for me to thank you all for coming and for being here and for coming to UCT. Ask you to remain connected with us over the years. We have our Alumni Association. We'll send you newsletters to tell you what we're doing. You have the opportunity to steer and guide the university and ensure that it remains a university that you are proud of by electing the Chancellor, by electing members to the Council of the University, the governing body, by considering yourself, putting yourself forward for office in one of the governing structures, and certainly in the long term by supporting the university financially The university is dependent, and you have had the benefit of many people before you who have supported the university, and we hope that you will do the same when your turn comes. Congratulations.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. We have now reached the end of the first part of your afternoon. It's in three parts. The third is departure, going home. But the second is important. You are warmly invited to refreshments at the Leslie Social Science Building after the ceremony. But how we do the departure from the hall is that we ask you please to remain standing after the Vice-Chancellor has dissolved the congregation, and then allow the platform party to leave first, followed please by the new graduates, and then you can join them. The trick is to move out down the steps and sort of disperse around the plaza. This is important because if you start hugging and kissing at the entrance, a lot of people remain imprisoned inside the halls. So the trick is to go down the steps to University Avenue. Don't go down too far. Main road is at the other end. The Vice-Chancellor will now dissolve the congregation. Will you please stand?
By virtue of the authority conferred on me, I now dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.